Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today I'm working on Beast 2. I'd like to show you the exhaust that I'm designing up for this thing. So as of right now, it just looks like this. This rusty pipe is coming off of the exhaust port on the block, not through the head, because this one happens to be a flathead engine. This comes down and gets cut off right about here. This black pipe sits right there and gets welded on, but this has to be at the same depth as here, and it gets shrunk down to be the same size as this at the end, right where it's silver here. Next, it comes down and welds onto this Harley muffler, which sends it straight out the back. Welcome back to Small Engines Galore, where today we're fitting these right here. If you don't recognize this mower, obviously you haven't been watching many of my videos. This mower is Beast 2, if you didn't know, and today we're building the exhaust on it. We're starting with these Harley Davidson straight through mufflers that I got really cheap, and I want to mount them underneath the running board, sort of like that, but underneath. I also went out and bought a bunch of 90-degree exhaust bends for really cheap out of my small engine shop scrap metal bin. A set of factory pipes like this one here are gonna come out, and we're gonna build exhaust like that. Basically, that is our video today. How we're actually going to use these pipes right here is we're going to mount them to the factory pipe, which is this rusty one that I'm moving right now. And it will go like that on there and hook up in here somewhere like this. Don't worry, it'll be in like this so that I can turn. Hopefully you can see this and the camera isn't super blocked. But yeah, that's our goal for today, is fix that. Obviously, to fix this, we're gonna have to be using a grinder and a cutoff wheel to cut this pipe kind of about here so that it can mate up with this one. And then we're gonna be using this MIG Weld Pack 180 to weld everything together. Now, I haven't decided yet. Should I be welding these things to the running boards underneath, or should I somehow build a hanger? I think what I'm going to end up doing is just tack welding these things to the running board so that I can pull them off in the future if I ever decide to build it up where I can take these off. As I may turbo this thing in the future, depending on how fast it is right now, once we're done building this thing. Okay, here's one of the Harley mufflers in the vise. To get a good penetration on your weld, you want to get rid of the paint. So I've marked right here, these two lines are the outside to outside of where our running board sits, and the circle is the approximate area where we need to grind out all the paint. So all the paint about this wide by this wide has to disappear from here so that we can get a good penetrating weld along this edge and this edge. Same thing up here, right there, so that we can weld our running board to this thing. See you on the next clip. Alright guys, welcome back. I'm just about to do some grinding on this stuff, so go ahead and watch if you want. just like that, folks, our grinding is good. Hey guys, I made a mistake. I forgot to turn the gas on, so these welds are disgusting, ugly, but they're holding this thing up pretty okay, so I'm just gonna leave these things on there. Let's get to the next piece. Okay, so now that the Harley pipe is tack welded onto the running board, which is tack welded onto the frame over here, none of this is fully welded, we're gonna mock up this pipe, which in this case happens to come up here and there. So if we cut this chunk of pipe off right here, we're gonna move this piece over this way a little bit and then weld it inside here. This chunk will move inside the Harley pipe a little bit when we're done this. It's just that this chunk underneath this black pipe is not allowing us to drop it the proper amount. So let's get to cutting that. Okay, so I have this piece put back together. This chunk is bolted up to the block, and this chunk is welded here. Go ahead, laugh at my welds. Take 3 or 4 seconds to laugh. Okay, stop laughing. Now, you can see that this comes down, and we're gonna have to modify this pipe so that it's the same size as this. Ooh, that's still warm. This is still warm. And then it'll come down and either clamp or weld to that Harley muffler, which will weld to the running board again because it was like way too far over this way. Now it's going to come that way a bunch, and we're and da-da-da-da. I know that probably sounded really stupid. Anyways, look. Now these things are sort of nice, but since my worn out flapper wheel is the one that I'm using, that's about as far as we're getting with that flapper wheel. Now, this thing is still a bit warm, but we can stick this thing back on the mower. And once I stick some paint on this, not even I will be able to tell that I did the welds on here. Okay, that's a lie. That's a lie. I will be able to. Okay, so now that I have started to weld, or tack weld, this black pipe onto the silver pipe, just enough like along the back edge of it so I can then cut and push these edges in and then weld up all the way along here. And now, welcome back, everybody. Yesterday the welder bound up on me, so I stopped filming and fixed that. Today we're back to finish this exhaust pipe. I already have it tack welded on the bottom side here, so you can see. The problem that I'm having right now is I have this huge gap right here, so that there's a huge exhaust leak right here. I don't want to fill this all the way up with weld because that's a lot of welding wire, and it's going to look really ugly if I just do that. So what I want to do is place a cut right about here and here on this pipe, fold the edges down and weld that up. I think that's going to make it function better as well as look better. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so I tried to film you guys while I was making this cut on this pipe, but your camera fell down and it wasted a minute of my recording time. So since this camera has limited storage, I deleted that clip, so this is the clip you're going to be seeing. I've already made this cut. Now we're just going to fold these edges in, and then we can weld. Okay, so hopefully your camera doesn't fall down. I'm going to flatten this edge of this pipe. I already did the other side. Here's my little friend. Hopefully your camera doesn't fall down. Flat. Tighten this in place. Alright, whatever. This is close enough. Okay, I don't know if you can see this very well, but possibly you can. This is actually a pretty tight gap, so now we can bring the welder over and weld up all the way along this gap. We can flip it around, smash this side in, weld the gap, and it'll be good. Alright folks, I'm gonna do some welding. Hopefully your camera doesn't fall down. And yeah, let's get to it. Put on both my right hand welding gloves. Alright guys, here's our pipe. It's kind of a funky shape. It's still a little bit warm near these welds, so I'm not going to touch right there. But we will end up grinding these welds down because they're disgusting as well and horrible looking. I don't know if it's just me or this new welding wire that we're trying out. Probably just me. I don't know. Anyways, let's get to putting this thing back on the mold. Alright everyone, here's this pipe that we just built, coming off of the engine, down to that piece that we cut and welded before, down to the newest piece that we cut and welded, now out there. Now we just gotta put the Harley tip on. Okay, so I have the Harley pipe mocked up for the final time. This tack weld isn't actually holding it on the frame, whatever it looks like, it might. We're just gonna go ahead and test to make sure we can turn this tire. Full lock, no hitting. That's good. We can move all the way back here. That's good. We're just gonna try to make this close to square with the edge of this running board. I'm not really gonna do measuring because I'm a little bit lazy, but if it turns out okay, I'm gonna be happy. Let's go ahead and weld this thing on. Okay everybody, I just finished. Look at this ugly weld. I know I need to get better at welding, but if they hold, I'm happy. I'm not gonna weld the front up yet. Maybe once we're done, but yeah, this is one cylinder done. Let's move to the other side. Okay, so for this driver's side, this is the pipe that we're starting with. It is different from the one that we were using on the passenger side. So this exhaust pipe is going to be shaped probably completely different, but I really don't care. I just want exhaust on this thing. So we're just going to hook it up here and we'll go from there. Okay, so now that this piece is bolted up to the engine, we can go ahead and get a 90 that we can come off of here and go down with. Now, where did I put the 90? I think there was one up on this table here, but I don't remember. I mean, there's this one and this one, but I had another separate one. Where did I put it? Behold, a 90-degree bend. So I went ahead and just smashed this one off of the other pipe over there. And I'm gonna go ahead and start mocking this one up. I think I want to cut right about there, meet up like that, so that the tire can turn. So how I'm gonna measure this is I'm gonna turn the tire full lock and figure out that it's further up than I expected that I need to cut. Unless I just run it down like that, which could do as well. Yeah, I think I'm actually gonna cut right there. Okay, so you see this black mark on this pipe? That's all the pipe we're keeping out of this one. It's gonna be fairly close to the passenger side one as far as how far in this running board the Harley pipe sits. We're gonna measure that in a bit, but for now, let's just cut this piece. Okay, so now that we have just this little nub here of the original pipe, we can take a 90 and try to test fit this thing in here. So right now it's pointed that way, which is not great. I'd like it to be pointed more straight like this, which can be done, but we'll possibly need to modify this pipe. I kind of like right there, like that. Maybe I'll just tack weld it in like this. Okay guys, here's our pipe tack welded on, right there and there. They're just little tacks. I'm gonna remove this thing from the engine, and we can flatten down and grind welds and all that. We can make it nice. So I'm just undoing the bolts right now that hold the pipe on. You can see it's loose. It's sort of warm though, which is nice because my hands are freezing. But yeah. Did I mention that ugly, it does not even describe my welds? Wow. I should really make them better. They're disgusting. Alright guys, it's almost getting dark. I just went in and had supper. So now let's go ahead and finish this exhaust. Hey buddy, see ya. Bye bud. Hey guys, here's our new pipe installed on the mower. This is looking good. It's actually gonna match up pretty okay with the other side as far as how close to the running board it is. It's gonna be a little bit further in, but if it runs and it drives, I really don't care. Okay, here's the side pipe marked up for this side. It's actually really close to how the other one is. It's a little tiny bit further in, but you can only notice it if you're looking for it. Alright everybody, take a look. Harley Muff4 is literally cooling down. It's still partially red hot. That just about concludes this video. We are going to be getting some soundtrack out of these things in about 3 weeks with any luck. Maybe sooner, depending on if I can afford parts by then or not. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.